Want to encourage you, if you're thinking about something or have thought about something for a while now, go do the thing. You won't know until you try it. And then when you go try it, you'll probably find something else throughout the entire process that you weren't even thinking about, right? And you'll probably find, wow, I didn't like that, but here's what I did like about the process. And then you go and do that thing. And then that leads you to the next thing. And that leads you to the next thing. What up, world? And welcome back to another episode of the Seeds of Success podcast. It's your host, Colin Walters. And today we're going to dive into 30 lessons that I have learned over 30 years of living. Now, originally, this episode was supposed to be published on my 30th birthday. And it was a perfect world, perfect scenario. I loved the idea. And then life got in the way. I didn't publish it, obviously, as we are 2 months and 1 day behind that schedule. However, I did have a lot of lessons that I had jotted down prior to my birthday. And so it's been sitting here in my notes for a little bit. And so there is no better time than now to deliver those 30 lessons. And so I think one of those lessons in particular will be evident in this list of 30, that it is better to be late than never. So these are going to be 30 lessons that I've learned from my own personal failures, successes, lessons throughout experiences in my personal and professional life, endurance training, races, marathons, ultras, being out in the mountains, relationships, social life, whatever it may be. These are lessons that I've learned through other people, through other people's failures and successes that I want to share with you. And so my 30th birthday was a milestone birthday for me. It was a brand new decade, one that I was very excited for, one that was a very natural reflection point for me to think back and reflect on the last 30 years of my life, and then project where I want these next, obviously next 30 years to go, but real specifically this next decade, right? I'm very excited about this decade, 30s. I think that there's so much excitement and things that I'm looking forward to in this next decade. And so I'm hoping that these 30 lessons can help you with wherever you're at in your life. Maybe you take one away, maybe you take two, maybe you take all 30. Hope that it finds one person and can help somebody here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break up these 30 lessons into bite-sized chunks. And so we're going to do 6 episodes with 5 lessons per episode, so that I'm not just sitting here rambling 30 things off to you. And so without further ado, we'll go ahead and kick off these first 5 lessons that I have learned throughout my 30 years of living. Here we go. We'll do it a little bit differently. I'm picking up my phone right now in order to actually look at the lessons that I wrote down. Typically on these podcasts, I'm literally just speaking from the heart, speaking from whatever comes to my mind here. So here we go, in no particular order, right? And last note is there are many lessons that are not in this list that should be, obviously. There's plenty of things I have learned that are not within these 30 lessons that are equally as important. And so just pointing that out, there is no particular order to anything. I just threw down on the paper anything that came to mind that I thought was important enough to include in the list. And done is better than perfect. So there's another little foreshadowing for you. So here we go. Number 1, early mornings are my best mornings. And just these lessons that I'm going through, these are, take them however you wish. I'm not telling you what you should or should not be doing or anything that you need to try or have to try. These are just what I've learned through my own personal experience of life and what I hold to be true for myself. And quite honestly, a great reminder for myself on things to keep doing, stop doing, and continue doing. So number 1, early mornings are my best mornings. I love an early, productive morning. I love getting up 5 a.m., getting something done, some sort of creative work, whether that be writing, now the podcasting, the Seeds of Success, working on the business, getting out the door and moving, getting training in, reading, getting back, and then diving into the workday. Like those hours between 5 and 8 a.m. are so crucial for my own personal fulfillment and meaning behind the things that I'm super passionate about and wanting to work on. Because when the day hits, like, you don't know, nothing is guaranteed to get done. Nothing's guaranteed to happen. I just cherish those early mornings. If you need any recommendations on books, The Miracle Morning is a really good one. The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, I believe is his name, is a really good one. And so those are two that I would check out. I'm not perfect in implementing everything that they recommend. I just know that I have been consistent over my lifetime in really kickstarting my day with a productive early morning that feels good. So that's number one. Early mornings are my best mornings, and getting a sweat in, getting up early and sweating. There's nothing that beats it. Number two, meaningful conversations and relationships lead to deep roots of fulfillment and happiness. Invest in your relationships. Make the phone call, make the time, plan the trip, plan the coffee date, take a walk around the block. End of the day, I can't envision my life without other people in my life. For me, there would be no point in living. For me, without human connection, there would be no reason and no purpose for me being on this planet. And at the end of the day, the connections, relationships, friendships, and love that we have with and for other people are, for me, the most important thing. Because I again, like, just to reiterate the point, like, there would be no reason for me to be here without sharing experiences with other people, working on things with other people, loving other people. And so, it's always like, making that phone call, having that conversation with that person, planning that date, and then making it happen, or whatever it may be. Like, it just, day after day, it is just a fact for me in life. So connections, relationships lead to deep fulfillment, happiness, joy, for me, and meaning in my life. Number three, focused attention will continue to be the way to get ahead and stay ahead. This is a massive lever to use to create results. So in this age of digital distraction, it can be very difficult to stay focused. We have social media, we have getting pinged on our cell phones. We have, a lot of us work on our computer with 9,000 tabs open, and all it takes is one split second to look at a different tab, and then you are down a spiral, a rabbit hole of links, of clicks, of feeds, of forums, whatever it may be. And the ability to stay focused is so powerful, and is going to continue to be so powerful. And it is just something like Deep Work by Cal Newport was a really good book that I read this year, or last year, I guess, that I think would, if you want to learn more about this topic, it's a phenomenal book, and helps you realize and become aware of all the distractions that are in our life that I'm sure you're aware of. And I have no doubt you understand that. But it also provides some strategies and tips for what to do. And so one thing that I do is, say, for when I'm writing, I'll sit down and I'll make my screen full screen, right? So then it eliminates any tabs, it eliminates any browsers, and it's just me and that paper that I'm working on, that document that I'm working on and typing on. I'll try to minimize as much as I can, and really just trying to set some boundaries for yourself on social media or wherever your biggest distractions are, and setting up some good habits to instill will take you a long way. But being able to really focus focused attention is going to continue to be huge for myself. I believe for you as well. And so that was number 3 of what I had here. Number 4, you truly only learn what you like and what you don't like through the act of doing. You won't really know until you try. Everything else is just speculation. And for so long, I thought about doing this podcast. For so long, I thought about what it would be like to start writing. For so long, I thought about if I could do ultras and if I could do ultra marathons. And, you know, for end of the day, you don't actually know what you're going to like or don't like until you actually do it, until you experiment it, until you go through the process of what that activity actually entails. And then you can go through it and understand, wow, this I've always thought I would like, and I want nothing to do with it anymore. And for me, it was like, I'll relate it to a home buying process. There's only so many pictures you can look at on Redfin. There's only so many pictures of and videos you can look at on Zillow or whatever source you use. It's not until you actually go walk through the home that you realize, oh, wow, I don't need 5 bedrooms. 3 will be perfect for me. Narrow that down. Oh, wow, I don't need this huge yard that I thought I did because it might be a pain in the ass to take care of. Narrow it down, right? You might have thought, okay, I thought that I wanted a 2-car garage, but honestly, a 1-car garage with extra space elsewhere in the house will be perfect for me. I'm using that example because I didn't know what I wanted until I actually went and did the process of walking through the homes and realizing what I was liking and what I didn't like, and then was very aware and intentional with jotting those things down and reflecting as I went. And so similar to you in a profession, or if you're thinking about, say you want to start a side business, or you wanted to start, like for example, with the home, I started a side business of the Airbnb because I always thought that I wanted to do it, and come to find out, I do really love it. It's awesome. It's everything that I thought it was going to be. It's me being able to interact with other people from all walks of life and learn super cool and unique and interesting stories, and offset the mortgage while doing that. Like it was exactly what I thought it would be, and then more. And so that was something that I thought I did like, and I didn't know that I was actually going to like it until I actually did the thing. So want to encourage you, if you're thinking about something or have thought about something for a while now, go do the thing. You won't know until you try it. And then when you go try it, you'll probably find something else throughout the entire process that you weren't even thinking about, right? And you'll probably find, wow, I didn't like that, but here's what I did like about the process. And then you go and do that thing. And then that leads you to the next thing. And that leads you to the next thing. So that was number 4. You truly only learn what you like and don't like through the act of doing, experimentation, getting into action. Number 5, my favorite concept of work is upfront work that pays for itself over and over. I love this. This is where you can do the work one time, and then that thing, whatever it was, pays for itself consistently. You don't need to go do that thing again. For example, in my day-to-day, I work in sales, and when I am going to run a campaign and build out a sequence of content and messaging to send out to prospective clients, I will create that sequence one time, and then the work is done. I can then clone that sequence, adjust the messaging for a future sequence that's similar, and roll that out again. I can build that thing one time and roll that out to 100 prospects, 200 prospects, doing the work one time, paying for itself over and over, right? And so, think about social media or a product that you might be selling. You build that product one time, and say you put something on Etsy or Shopify, and you build that thing, then you put it and post it online. That can pay for itself over and over. Same thing with a piece of social media content that you put out online, right? You do it one time, and then that thing is going to continue to get impressions and views and clicks and likes and funnel into whatever else you're trying to drive over and over. And so it's the idea of doing things that are high value when it comes to return on investment, right? So upfront work, upfront effort that then helps pay for itself down the road consistently. Another example I can provide is when I first started getting into officiating weddings, right? The first one was the hardest because I had nothing but a blank piece of paper. I didn't know where to start, what to write, what to do. I built out a template. I built out a structure. I built out a format. And then I was able to use that, plug and play for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 weddings that I did. And then that was the template that I built that paid for itself over and over. And so however that applies to your life, I want to encourage you to do those things and look at it from, it's a one-time investment that is going to help you so much down the road. So I'm going to stop right there. Those are the first 5 lessons that we're diving into in this 30 for 30 series. I hope that you found any value. If you did, can you please leave a 5-star rating and review? I have been getting a lot of comments and a lot of messages that have been very meaningful to me, that it's helping people. And quite honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a wall because I don't actually know if anybody's listening or who's listening or what it may be unless you tell me. So I appreciate you tuning in episode after episode. Thank you for listening to this episode right here. I hope you can take away 1 thing at the very least. 2 would be great. 5 would be best. Let me know how it's helping you. I appreciate you tuning in. Hope this message finds you well, and I will see you on the next episode.